Alright, Mike, so to answer your question, I was thinking of using Space Deck electronics work at a microscopic scale. You want to have a USB webcam looking through a microscope lens, and you want to have between 20 to 800 zoom, 800x. Um, you want it to be on a boom arm so you can adjust it how close to the piece. If you're zooming way in, you got to move it closer. If you're zooming just 20 times, you can move it back quite a bit more. You want an adjustable zoom or digital zoom. I don't know which is better. Um, the next thing you want is a screen for you yourself to look through. This way, I'm not looking at it with my own visor. I would look through a screen. So I would see what you guys see. So I would no longer wear my head visor. Unless if I found the head visor to be better for me, and then you guys have a microscope and I don't. So you guys would see even better than me, depending on your zoom. But if I'm looking through a different screen than you, I might be set up on it and you guys might be blurry and I won't notice. So if we're both seeing the same thing, that might be advantageous. So there's a lot of pros and cons, but the idea would be for a cheap microscope, it will go to your computer. I'm guessing your computer would read it as a webcam, but I'm not sure. I'd need to stream it to OBS. You really want to have a screen that's not your computer monitor. What I've heard is that looking up at my computer monitor while working with my hands down here on my lap throws you off. You're better off to look at a screen near where your hands are. Now, the more expensive microscopes come with a screen. But they're like $45. I mean, by more expensive, I mean more expensive than this $19 one. Which can get down to $12 if you buy it off eBay instead of Amazon. But you don't need a screen for an extra $30 if you have a smartphone. So you use Space Desk on your computer to broadcast your computer monitor onto your cell phone. So basically, what I'm thinking is I'd connect a webcam, my already existing quality webcam, to a microscope. Just put the microscope on front of it, slide that into place. It's a small microscope. So I would just have that on a separate boom arm off the side of my lamp. I'd swing that into place in front of my webcam, and now you guys are looking through the webcam through a microscope. So now you guys have the autofocusing of my webcam and the high quality of the webcam, which I already bought, combined with the focusing lenses of a microscope. Now all that's going straight to my computer through my normal setup into OBS and being streamed and recorded that way. Now, that solves having a high quality webcam with autofocus, and it also solves being able to stream it on Twitch and record it on OBS and then get the video from that off of Twitch, download it for YouTube. Okay, the high quality webcam solves the fact that you buy crappy webcams when you buy USB microscopes under, I don't know, a few $100s. But my Logitech webcam's high quality, and I could just take off the webcam of the cheap microscope and just use the lensing system in front of my webcam. So I would just be buying it for the lens and using my really good webcam as is with the high 1080p and autofocusing. Okay, so that would solve a lot of problems while just keeping the really nice LED lighting and the really nice zoom capabilities of the cheap webcam. So we would get rid of that. We wouldn't use the webcam itself. We would just use the microscope aspect of the USB microscope. Use my good webcam. Now, as I was saying, now my good webcam, which is already set up with OBS, would have the microscope swung out in front of it, and I'd be able to have that microscopic vision being seen on my monitor by you guys and by me if I looked up at my monitor. But I want to be looking down at my lap. So how can I get my monitor on my lap? Well, I could physically move my monitor, put it on a boom arm, and slide it down in front of me so it's closer to where my hands are and not as awkward to be looking up when I'm working with my hands down. That's a little awkward. So instead, I would use my cell phone and put it on a boom arm holder in front of my hands so I can look down and see what my physical hands are doing, and I can also look up at the phone. Maybe even wear the visor on top of that so I could use the visor or look up at my phone and then look with my eyes at it physically, with my eyes at the cell phone screen to see what you guys see, and flip down my visor to see through the visor. So I'd have three options, quickly able to switch from looking through a visor, looking with my bare eyes, or looking at my phone screen. So I can see what everybody sees and have access to all kinds of ways to view it just by lifting my head tilt. So I think that's really nice flexibility. That's the ultimate. And everything's got to be, so my camera phone would be here, or my webcam, not my webcam, my cell phone would be here, and then the webcam would be under that, and then the microscope would be under that. So we got three things here, and then I'm wearing my visor. And my visor, I always tilt it up a little bit so I can look under it and see with my bare eyes, and then tilt my head down when I want to look through the visor. So that's really convenient. And as I said, Space Desk will enable me to see through my cell phone just my OBS window so that my cell phone will be populated by what my webcam is seeing. So I don't have to spend an extra $30 to $40 on my USB microscope to get one with a screen. And that screen would be nowhere near as high quality as a smartphone screen anyways. The smartphone interfaces with my desktop computer and sees what my desktop sees, or sees a portion of my desktop, or sees a selected window that I choose in my desktop, depending on how I set it up with Space Desk software. Space Desk software works on Android, and you install it on your phone and on your Windows PC, and it syncs the two, so you can remote desktop from your Windows PC onto your phone, and you can dual monitor with your phone being your second monitor. And that's what I'd be doing in order to see on my phone my OBS capture screen on my desktop. And that all works through Wi-Fi, hopefully without any latency, so that I can see in real time what my hands are doing. But even if it did have latency, that's okay, because I can always switch to just using visor mode if the latency is bugging me and I want more of a real-time response. Plus my visor is probably superior than looking through my phone, which is seeing through OBS, which is seeing through a webcam, which is seeing through a microscope what I'm doing. All those switches might show a little bit of lag, so my hand movements wouldn't be in real time, although it might be real time because it's a fast webcam and a fast phone and fast USB. It might all be pretty much real time to my naked eye. But that aside, my phone screen would not be as superior as my visor, because my visor is showing my vision through both eyes, so it's giving me stereoscopic vision where I can actually see depth information. Whereas on my phone it's going to appear flat, how you guys will see it. So I'll be able to see in 3D by using my visor. So my visor, because it gives me better depth perception, will give me more control and less awkwardness working with my tools. Although my visor doesn't go up to 800 times zoom, which would be kind of nice, but mainly I would use that just for inspecting joints anyways, so it wouldn't be used while actually doing the work. So I don't think it is really that important. But yeah, it's just going to give me a lot of flexibility on things, and I think that's the ultimate solution. So pretty much, since I already have a webcam and I already have a smartphone, we only need to buy a microscope lens and use Space Desk. That's the conclusion to all this. It sounds really complicated, but it's not that bad. It's just hard to explain. Now, I just searched on eBay for microscope lens kit, and that's very expensive. So what I need to be doing is searching for USB microscope, because those are so popular, the prices come plummeting down. Whereas microscope lens kit, most people don't search for that, so the purchase volume is lower, and because of economies of scale, it's actually more expensive to buy that, even though it doesn't include lighting or a free webcam in the mix like a USB microscope would. So you're actually getting a much better deal just buying a USB microscope, using the USB webcam from that for another project, maybe a cheap robot project, or for I don't know, my robotic arm that pumps gas for you. I could use that webcam for that. I could use it for one of my quadcopters, for its vision, computer vision system, etc. So I'm going to need a lot of USB webcams anyways for various projects, so I won't be using it for this, where I want a really high quality, high resolution webcam, which I'm going to reuse my Logitech that I use for streaming anyways. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to buy a USB microscope, cheapest one that goes up to 800 times zoom from eBay. This is going to be a $12 solution and give me multiple thousands of dollars quality. I don't think it'd be advantageous to have a bigger screen, honestly. Think about it. With my cell phone right here, a screen the size of my hand, which is my cell phone, I can put it as close to my eyes as I want. You can make the screen of your cell phone look bigger just by moving it closer to your eyes. And it's going to be zoomed in to 800 times. So I don't want a big screen that's going to be cumbersome in the way. So I wouldn't want a tablet. It's actually good to have a smaller screen the size of a smartphone. It's $9.39. I can get the 50 to 500 times or the 50 to 1,000 times. I'm going to go with 1,000 times. Alright guys, let me show you what I found. This is a very standard microscope. It's on Amazon. It's very well reviewed. You can recognize it easily. Here's the Amazon one. It's made by the same company in bulk. They market it under different things. Here's an XC Source brand name. But that's just branding for Amazon. Any seller can make up any brand to create an Amazon account. Here we have a non-branded one, because it's really not a brand. These are just generic microscopes, and you can read the reviews on Amazon before you buy. 50 to 1,000 times, $9.39. We're simply going to take it apart and remove the webcam and just use the lens and connect my nice autofocusing Logitech webcam to that, and then go from there. So we're just going to be retrofitting it. Now, they connected here a tablet to it by USB, it appears. I wouldn't do that, because that way it's not connecting to the desktop by USB. It's connecting directly to the tablet. That doesn't do you guys as my viewers any good. I want the microscope, whatever webcam's looking through the microscope. In my case, I'm planning to use my Logitech one, because it's much higher resolution than the crappy webcam that comes with this. I want the webcam to be connected to my desktop, and my desktop to be connected to Open Broadcast software, and Open Broadcast software connected to Twitch, and then Twitch I can get the video footage for YouTube. So I would not want the microscope to go directly to a tablet or something, because then its image is not being put into OBS, so my viewers can't see what it is seeing. So that would defeat the whole purpose of USB Microscope. Wow. It's much smaller than this microscope. It's going to be even smaller when we just use the front part of it, the zooming aspect, for my webcam. Yeah, it might be like 420 or 680p. I believe this one's 680p because it's got a crappy webcam. But I'm going to connect my 1080p Logitech up to just its magnification portion by removing the webcam from it. So I'm going to retrofit it. I'm sure that this back half is just power conversion and just splits out the power for the USB, splits out some power for these LEDs. I don't know, it just has some basic electronic circuitry in there. We can pop that all off, and the front half will for sure just be for a simple lensing system. We can connect a separate power supply to light up these LEDs in the front, which I think are a nice bonus feature. But we'll just remove the back half most likely, and we'll snag that USB webcam that comes with it for another project. So $9 and we solved that. We get to have Louis Rossmann quality, microscopic 1,000 times. We got it all for $9. Solve that problem. Don't have to do, oh, goodness. A little bit of research and life gets so much cheaper and easier. Man, Louis Rossmann paid $5,000 for his setup. Just using my head, I get to just buy a USB microscope, strip out the lens kit, retrofit that to my high quality existing streaming microscope, and then use software to. So now that my webcam's going to my desktop, I'm streaming that on OBS. I don't have to look up at my monitor to see this super zoomed in view, because I'm going to hook up my monitor to my phone through dual desktoping through a software app called Space Desk. And so by dual monitoring, we get to have our phone right in front of us, held by a boom arm, and see exactly what's going on. It's going to be great. This is going to get me a lot more views on YouTube. Anytime somebody sees under a thumbnail fixing this or fixing that, and they see a microscopic vision of what's going on the board, instant clicks. Because you can actually see what the hell's going on. So much of my electronics projects, you guys are seeing me work, and you see smoke, and you see what my hands are doing, but you don't get to see what I did until I hold it up to the camera and get the zoom to catch on, and you guys get to inspect the results. You don't see in real time the solder wicking onto the pins. You don't see what I'm doing. And I think that would be so valuable for you guys to see what I'm doing. It'd be so much more enjoyable for you. So this is an investment really for the quality of my stream and of my YouTube channel, and to get more views and to be more information giving. And it's also going to double as a bonus as possibly being a way I can inspect joints at 800 times zoom. I probably won't be looking through the phone while soldering, but I might. It will be interesting to see how that compares with just what I see through my visor. And I'll have the option to use the visor or the phone. Maybe for certain things I'll prefer one or the other, depending on what I'm soldering. So I can switch back and forth. Or use my bare eyes as well. Like I said, just tilting my head angle, I can change all of that. So that's a really versatile, robust solution, which is excellent. It gives me lots of options. Just by tilting my head, I can switch between all three views. It's great. I can't believe we got a USB microscope, guys. I thought that was going to be something one day would make me able to do electronic streams and be way more professional one day, like once I save thousands of dollars, and it'd be a major investment. I didn't know I can have it for $9 with the existing things I have around the house. $9, and now I have up to the ability to have 1080p at 1000 times zoom watching me do electronics. What the heck? Louis Rossman threw me off because he said my USB microscope was $2,000, and I was like, oh my gosh, well I can never do that. $9 and I have the same functionality as him, which shows how much smarter I am than him. I'm clearly his superior. Wake up. Guys, check it out. I just realized for doing my DIY hair transplant, this microscope technology is going to be perfect. So I'm going to have a boom arm with a webcam on it, and then another boom arm that can slide it, optionally a microscope in front of that webcam, which goes up to 800 times zoom. Now, because they're both on a boom arm, they can be moved anywhere. I'm going to locate them on my lap when I'm working on electronics over my lap, and I'm going to have a cell phone that will show what the microscope is seeing, in addition to it showing on my computer monitor, because my cell phone will be a copy of my computer monitor using a dual desktop, and the cell phone communicating with my computer through Wi-Fi and using an app called Space Desk to dual monitor onto a cell phone. So my smartphone will show me what I'm doing in that microscope. Now I just realized I could have that cell phone right here while I'm doing stuff here, and I'm looking into the cell phone, seeing what I'm doing behind me, to pull out hair from the back of my head to move it to the front of my head in a hair transplant. So I'd move the microscope and the webcam to the back of my head to look at what I'm doing. My hands would be back here working, but my eyes would be right here looking closely at a cell phone screen that's showing what I'm doing back here. So that will solve kind of that question mark of how am I going to see? I was planning to create an elaborate mirror system like lasers have, where a mirror would reflect my vision here, 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 and here. But this would be 1,000 times better than that, and can give me up to 800 times zoom and a very steady still image that's held in perfect place. It's going to be incredible. And anybody can do this for $9 plus a webcam plus a smartphone, which everyone has a smartphone. Everyone can get a webcam for $50 and a $9 microscope. This is very affordable for people to do their own DIY hair transplant. So that solves the how do I see what's going on issue right there.
You really want to have a screen that's not your computer monitor. What I've heard is that looking up at my computer monitor while
We just came that much closer, guys, to being able to do our hair transplant. Piece of cake. I already got all the tools. Now I know how I'm going to see it all. That kind of was like my last question mark. And now that's solved. Shoot, I got no excuses now. I'll work.
with my hands down here on my lap, this throws you off. Your better scopes.
Oh, I will do it. It's on my to-do list, and it's been gradually creeping higher on my to-do list as things get crossed off, or as time passes and the time since I added it to my to-do list has grown further. It now becomes a higher and higher priority to actually do it, because I prioritize items that were added to my to-do list a long time ago higher than items that were added to my to-do list more recently. And that's something kind of new. I now track when items were added to my to-do list.
Come with a screen.
This way, no item will ever be just ignored for a long time and be forgotten. The older it is, the more high priority it becomes. Green.
$5.
I don't know if I'd go viral or be a legend, because it's a medical procedure that can be seen as a surgical procedure, and I don't know that I can actually broadcast that on Twitch or YouTube. So I'll probably have to just host it privately on my Art by Robot website and just give links to it on Twitch and YouTube for you guys to go check it out. Maybe I can just show the before and after on YouTube and Twitch. Maybe just give a small demonstration on a fake piece of hair in silicone and show how you would do it. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can actually show. But I can, like, I can like put a piece of silicone prosthetic with hair in it on the back of my head, set up my whole setup, and show you guys a hair transplant that's fake to show how you would do it. And you guys can see all the steps live, but I can't get in trouble because there's no blood and it's all fake, and it's just demonstrating how this works. And then here's a link to me actually doing this on myself with the full gory details on a privately hosted thing. I don't know if that's a loophole or I can do it that way and still be educational, but not show actual blood and gore being done by a non-surgeon. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it. It's going to be tough. I'm going to have to research as well, like what the policies are on these things. And I'm sure I can't talk to anyone from Twitch or YouTube. There's no way. They're too big of companies to actually give a crap about me. So there's no way I can get them on the phone to actually ask.
More expensive than this $19 one. Which can get down to $12 if you buy it off eBay instead of Amazon.